It's always a lovely kind of like atmosphere when you get two athletes break through to either the high point or near the high point at the same time. You really get the feels of the crowd there behind them.
And we've now had most of our athletes finish climbing now, so they are all here watching and cheering for the competitors that are still coming out, and that is also another lovely thing about climbing.
Yeah, exactly, and especially because they have that appreciation for like just how hard they've got, and even though that they are like competing against each other, I'm sure you know this, but like they're also friends and they train together, and you still I'm sure over the moon when your training partner like gets through a section that you know how tough it is.
Yeah, for sure. And a lot of these athletes will be here with teams. We spoke to Jess earlier, who said she was climbing, she trained with North coaching climbing a little bit, but a lot of these athletes here are here as part of a team, and that is also like a really nice way to come into an event like this.
Yeah, for sure. Like to be able to kind of like support your teammates and have a coach here as well, kind of like looking out for like giving you support, but also if there is any technicals and they need to make an appeal, having a coach here to do that on your behalf is also super important.
We've got two new athletes now, Sam Butterworth for the men and Anya for the women. Sam was on the podium at last year's BLCCs in Edinburgh, so I'm sure he's back this year hoping for another amazing result.
Yeah, he's definitely one to watch. I'm excited to see how he finds fighting through this section, and
he's really making the most of his 45 seconds on the mat.
Yeah, come on, Sam, get on with it. He's also quite far away from the wall. Come on.
Anya, meanwhile, straight on it and beginning her campaign on this women's semi-final route. Another really smooth climber to watch.
Yeah, I was going to say.
She just makes it look so nice.
Yeah, she's also a very strong boulderer. Often see her competing at not just kind of like national competitions, but lots of the London-based competitions. Sam's decided to get on the wall now too, which is great. He's a fairly quick climber, which is also cool, pretty decisive, and I'm sure we'll see him power up through this section. He'll know as well that like he's very capable of doing kind of this bottom bit, and if he doesn't, he just needs to be able to like climb quite quickly without making too many mistakes.
Yeah, for sure. We know that Sam is in great shape. He was training for and attempting to climb 9A outside over the winter, so he's been out in Spain. He should have lots of fitness, so hopefully we'll see that pay off on this route here.
Yeah, and that's the same for our golden boy Toby. He's been out climbing in Spain a lot recently, so it'll be interesting to see how that translates to these. I mean, it is very different. The positions and stuff that are forced on these routes are kind of like, they are quite varied to outside, and the lack of rests as well. Both our athletes here looking pretty casual as they make their way up into this section. Apologies for the little bit of quiet there, but we have just been joined by Isaac, who was our last competitor on the under-17s male, and he got our high point. Isaac, how are you doing?
I'm good. I thought I climbed quite well on that route, and yeah, I'm happy to get the high point.
I bet. Oh, and Anya's she's also just struggled with that pretty powerful move there that we've seen quite a few competitors fall off. Meanwhile, we have got Sam Butterworth also milking that bit of a potential rest there and making his way through this section. Isaac, how did you find the route? Was it stressful? Was it physical? Did it suit you? Give us the lowdown.
So the route, it wasn't really my style. It was quite sort of technical and sloppy.
But you still made it so high, even though it wasn't your style.
Yeah. I mean, I feel my endurance has just got so much better recently, and that's why.
Okay, yeah, so you had like a little bit more fight left in you.
Yeah.
And what made the difference with getting that endurance? Have you been training more on lead, or what's the trick?
Just doing loads of training, just getting on the wall as much as possible.
Nice,
and,
amazing. And meanwhile, we just saw Sam there fall off that crimp before heading into the close to that high point though. So I reckon that could be enough to get him through into finals, but we'll have to wait and see what comes next. We still have 6 remaining athletes, so we will see how he gets on. Isaac, did you manage to kind of like find many rests on the route?
It was a bit of a weird route in that way because there weren't many rests. There weren't too many sort of good holds where you could sit back and just rest, because there was quite a big hold lower down, but that you don't really want to rest lower down because it doesn't really give you too much back. So there wasn't much higher up to get a good rest then.
And how did the route feel like it ramped up in kind of like difficulty, or did you feel like that you just got more progressively pumped?
I thought the bit near the top with the 2 volumes sort of a bit apart, that was really hard because those volumes were nothing like I expected them to be. They were almost a bit slopey, so I didn't really enjoy them too much.
I don't blame you. Meanwhile, we have Hannah Kerr just getting underway on the female senior route. I'm sure she'll have no problem with this beginning. Isaac, do you have any kind of like nuggets of wisdom for like any little tactics that help you, not necessarily when you're on the wall, but get you prepared for the competition? Is there anything that you're like, okay, when I do this, maybe the day before or the morning of, that just really helps you get into that zone?
There's not much I do before, but like when I'm on the wall, it helps on the easier bits of the route. I try to zone out from the route and listen to the commentary or that kind of thing, just because it doesn't use too much brain power, and then you can sort of really, really focus on the bits that matter.
Okay, I like that. Yeah, that's a great kind of like almost conserve not just your physical energy, but like your mental energy for thinking about the climbing.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I like doing that, yeah.
And so we have Jamie Jenkins here, just getting underway on the male semi-final. He's a climber from North Wales, and he's recently been kind of like also on the international circuit to Europe. Hannah Kerr making easy work of a move that has also spat quite a few off, choosing to opt for the powerful move there. I am joined back with Molly, but Isaac, thank you so much for joining me, and congratulations on your high point, and I hope you all the best and that you just enjoy the final.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. And I am joined back now by my co-host and star, Molly Thompson-Smith. And here we go. We've got a high point from Hannah Kerr. She's looking pretty casual there. Like, she's quite a powerful climber, so I feel like this style of route is so far suiting her.
Definitely.
And it looks like she's being rewarded for getting here, because actually she's getting a bit of a rest. She's got 2 feet on and 2 hands on that handhold. And often on these lead routes, you'll see that actually you don't often get 4 points of contact.
No, and Hannah looks like she actually looks chilled. You can see in her body positioning that she is relaxed. She's not stressed. There's not much tension there. So, and she's moving super confidently. That was a beautiful flick to watch. Come on, Hannah, let's see something up here.
Tom Jenkins also looking pretty like chill there, making the most of this like potential, I'm not going to say the word full rest, but potential rest. It's been really interesting because we've seen the climbers actually end up like maximizing this position, but both climbers in the opposite way around, if that makes sense. So hands on the first macro and feet on the last, and vice versa. And that just goes to show that there's so much decision making that goes into these routes. Hannah is storming her way up into that head wall.
She is. She's had really good pacing on this route. You know, she's rested for a while on those good holds and really made the most of those opportunities to get something back. But when she's not resting, she's moving.
Yeah. Moving, clipping, and she is still looking super strong, regardless, obviously, of like that pump and just fighting through it. And that is such a skill. She's just off there, but I'd imagine that is enough to see her through to the finals, and she should be very happy with that. And both our climbers falling off at pretty much the same time there.
I think, we just lost Hannah there because that is quite a long way up, that move, and you really need to stand it because you're going off of a toe hook and a small kind of jib for the left foot. You've really got to stand in and have your hips in to get the height for that, and being pumped, just didn't quite have the tension and tightness that she needed to make that long move upwards.
Yeah, and the wall is so steep beneath that your core will be getting pretty tired by the time you get onto that head wall. And like you say, the tension required to finish off that move will be pretty intense.
We're still going with our senior semi-final round, but our under-17 results have now been published, I've been told. So if you want to go and check out where everyone finished for the under-17s,
and
head to the bmcresults.co.uk website.
And who will be making it into the final?
Yeah, and our final lineup.
And we have, I can't count as it turns out. I've already told you that we have 6 remaining climbers, but I can confirm that we still do have 6 remaining climbers because I can't count. And as we're in reverse order, we will be seeing kind of potentially more and more kind of like high points on these routes, maybe even some tops. I don't want to jinx it.
Yeah, Thea was an athlete who did make it to the top of the wall yesterday in the qualification round, so we know she's got the fitness to make it to the top of this route. And she's also a powerful climber, very capable boulderer, so I think this should be a good route for Thea.
Yeah, she was competing in the Boulder Championships. I know she wasn't quite happy with her performance, so hopefully she's got that fire today to really come out here, give it her all, and do herself proud. She's been kind of like on the national circuit for quite a while now, and it'd be just great to see her maybe like break through that glass ceiling and be able to feel like she's climbing to her potential. I know she sometimes feels like she doesn't quite get to leave everything out here, so it'd be great to see that here from her today.
And on the men's, we've got Oliver Goodwin, member of Precision Climbing, just starting his attempt at this semi-final route.
Oliver Goodwin actually finished joint 3rd in qualification. So the kind of like, we have Toby qualified in 1st with 2 tops, followed by Reese Connellan with 1 top and then a high score, and then Jack, Oliver and Sam all got the same score. So it'd be interesting to see how this plays out on this route, and to see kind of like where they get to basically. These competitions wouldn't be possible without the support of funding from UK Sport and also from the BMC. If you're a BMC member, you've directly helped the kind of these competitions happen and just the progression of our sport. I know these athletes face a lot with being able to try and balance training and work and performing and funding their, whether they compete nationally or internationally. It is not cheap, and it is really hard to come by that funding. So it's just kind of like a bit of a hats off to them for making it work in what can sometimes be quite difficult situations.
Yeah, and we just lost Oliver there. He just didn't managed to find the most efficient way to climb that section, and it's hard because there's not much to go off. There's just 3 macros on the wall, and lots of different possible sequences, but yeah, I think he just didn't quite use his feet enough, didn't quite utilise all the toe hooks and heel hooks that were on offer on those holds. So unfortunately we've lost him there, and I know he'll be disappointed with that. But he is still young, and I know it's super annoying for young people to hear, like, you've got time, but I'm sure we'll see Oliver back next year at British League Champs.
Meanwhile, Thea is looking very casual, which is nice to see.
Yeah, really casual.
Milking a bit of that rest, milking maybe a potentially better hold as she's out of the steep, can kind of like shake out those forearms, and she'll know as well that if she's getting a bit of a rest now, that what's coming up is going to be hard. Like, you know, I'm sure you feel like this as well when you're climbing, but like if you're hanging on a bit of a rest, you're almost like, well,
yeah, what's coming up next?
What's coming up? Like, they're not just being nice here, they're route setters, they don't do that. Come on, Thea, really making the most of her flexibility there, rocking over on that really high heel, coming into some crimps. Come on.
And she's slapping now, she's definitely fighting. Come on, Thea, let's see if she can use her feet to help.
She's got to get this clip in. Oh, she just goes beyond. Well done, Thea. Hopefully that is enough to see her through to the final.
I think that's a final place for Thea, which is, I think we're starting to see our first confirmed finalists now.
Amazing. Come on, Thea. She should be happy with that.
Now, from now on in the senior women's semi-final, we have all of our bouldering finalists, actually.
Wow. That just goes to show,
Apart
doesn't it?
From
They're
Edwards, kind of who isn't here.
Now that we're starting to see athletes that are just really top of their game at both, which is really cool.
Yeah, I guess individual disciplines and specialising isn't much of a thing anymore. Probably thanks to the Olympics, I guess. Almost forcing our athletes to become more of combined athletes. But I guess it's good for the development of the athlete. These climbers are so good at everything.
To be good at both is just
strength, fitness, it just opens so many doors, and it's really cool to see these athletes just being super successful in both disciplines.
And on our senior male route, storming his way up there, we have got our very own Boulder 2025 champion, Jack McDougall.
Yeah, Jack currently British Boulder and lead champion.
Of course, yeah, he won the lead championships in 2024.
So
Come on, Jack.
He is the man to beat today.
That is a great couple of titles to have, and I'm sure he'll leave everything out here to really fight for his title. I know that we came to Manchester Depot not that long ago, and he was here training, just trying to do that.
Yeah, I know Jack very well. He's my training partner. We shared many circuit sessions together, so I've got a good idea of his climbing style, and I really hope that he manages to have some fun and a good fight on this route.
Yeah, I hope as well that he didn't just cross that blue tape. His foot did go very, very near to it, so we'll find out what the judges say about that. But
I know Jack's nervous today, and I think you can see he's a bit tense, but yeah, I hope he just gets into this heel toe hook section and manages to relax a little bit. He'll be happy on these macros.
He's also got the type of climber that because he has got that bit more, maybe physical strength, that he can maybe have a little bit more room for error and bring it back. Yeah. I really hope that that's what we're going to see here from him.
With the, I guess, the climbers that come out later often see that they relax when they get to a certain point on the wall. You just want to get through the first half and get a bit of height underneath you.
Not make any silly mistakes where...
Yeah, and now hopefully we'll see Jack. He's in this resting position here. He's halfway up. Let's hope that he manages to take a moment to have a breath, and he's right, let's just find some flow now.
Come on, Jack. And just making our way up through this little crimpy section is Lucy Garlick. I think she would probably admit that she is a bit of more of a boulder specialist, but she is trying to become lead, a bit more lead, just dual focused. She's a very powerful boulder and also really good at coordination. I love watching her climb. So we'll see how I think this next section could suit her if she can just make it through. Come on, Lucy. There we go. She's just demonstrating her power there with the ease that she made that what is a very difficult move look, and she just needs to make sure that she gets that clip in. Oh, and Jack just off there. Oh, no. I know that he might not be too happy with himself there, but we'll have to see what comes up next with the rest of the athletes. Meanwhile, Lucy is fighting, which is great to see. And if she just keeps on making her way up these, then she'll get a little bit of a rest. I know as a boulderer, she probably is feeling pretty pumped in her forearms now. She's just gone past that clip. She needs to make sure she gets it. There it is. Clipping nice and low there. That was a smart move. Really efficient. It takes kind of like quite a lot of courage to go beyond maybe a higher clipping point that drains more, just to kind of like conserve that energy, but it paid off there for her, and now she can get a little bit back.
Lucy not wasting any time. She didn't spend that long in the rest positions. Maybe sometimes there isn't a point. Like you find that you're actually wasting more energy trying to rest than actually gaining any back. But Lucy's looking really good. She is fighting. Come on, Lucy.
Come on. She's got that clip in. Come on, Lucy.
Come on, Lucy!
Oh, and she's fallen off that move that quite a few others have fallen off, but she should be really proud of herself there. She climbed really well.
Bit of a foot slip, that left foot, but I think she just didn't quite have the beans to go the distance and
she was
really
looking
stand up
pumped
on that foot.
Yeah, but she managed to climb through that pump. And maybe as predominantly a boulderer, she knew that even if she rested, she couldn't quite get that juice back in those forearms. We have Sam Hammond here, just making his way up the start of the male route. He was a finalist in our finalist or semi-finalist. Also, it becomes a bit of a blur after a while in the bouldering. I know he'll be wanting to put in a good effort here.
He's moving really confidently, just absolutely powering through, not hesitating, not wasting any time.
Qualified for the semi-final in third.
Really nice, Sam. Come on.
Come on, Sam. It must feel pretty cool to be the only climber on the wall currently, knowing all eyes are on you, really soaking up that atmosphere.
Yeah, a bit of a finals experience, that.
Yeah.
But Sam is really not wasting any time. He's moving so efficiently. Let's see if he can make it to a rest at some point. And, I think that is the best way to climb. When you're climbing, you're moving. But let's hope that he's not rushed too much.
Yeah, and it really shows that you're making good decisions when you can keep a pace like that, because you're just you're doing what the route setter wants. But he is moving beyond this clip. That could be tricky.
Oh, and he's still looking at it.
Yeah, he knows that he's got to get it in, but it could be draining. Oh, he's in a position.
Maybe actually quite a good clipping position, but quite a committed one.
I think we'll see. Again, a bit like Jack, maybe if he can get into this like half shake, then he'll be able to bring it back a little bit.
Let's see if he can switch. He's not found the toe hooks.
No,
so
he's not looking super relaxed. He's choosing to carry on. Come on, Sam. But these competitors, they can fight. That is what they're good for. They are not just good climbers, but they are good climbers when they are pumped.
And maybe he prefers the more traditional, crimpy endurance kind of style of climbing. So and we just lose him there as well on that.
And he actually went up with a different hand. So that again just goes to show maybe what happens to your decision making when you're super pumped. But we haven't seen anyone get much further than where he got to. I think it could be pretty tight to see who squeezes into finals or not.
It's definitely going to be a close one in the men's field, that's for sure. But on the senior women's semi-final route, we've got Fay McDougall starting out.
We had all three of the siblings climbing in today's semi-final, which I think is really cool.
It's amazing. They all climbed in the boulder semi-finals, and Jack and Fay were also. Well, Jack was the winner and Fay was third place at BBC's a couple weekends ago. So
There's
really talented climbing family.
Genes. And what's also really sweet is they all train together, which
They
I
do,
think
and
is
they're
brilliant.
so supportive of each other. It's amazing.
We've also got Connie coming up, whose sister Izzy we saw competing a little bit earlier in the final as well. So yeah, lots of siblings, climbing siblings going on, which is it's brilliant. Fay climbing with a nice kind of like pace, looking pretty calm.
Next out from male seniors, Reese.
And yeah, she's opting for a heel here to try and take a little bit of the power out, but struggling to find it there. Looking like maybe a potentially powerful position to clip from. Come on, Fay.
Yeah, maybe making life a little bit harder for herself in that section, but she's clearly strong and fit enough that it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I find that really interesting when you can see kind of like the slightly fit, like you say, the fitter climbers, they can afford to make a few more mistakes and keep going, and maybe they know that they can get a little bit back. And I reckon if she can make it through this section, she'll be able to have a bit of a shakeout.
Yeah, she's doing a great job of just fighting. Let's hope that she just keeps going to this next hole because it's good. And
and the heel slip. That is unfortunate.
Yeah, maybe just that early clip kind of just made her a bit more pumped than she wanted to be, and her decision making kind of just went out the window a little bit.
You can see it on her face there. She knows that she had a little bit more to give there.
But I think it's still going to be enough for finals. So
Yeah, we haven't seen, we've only seen like a few climbers make it up onto that head wall. Meanwhile, we have Reese here, powering up. He is our penultimate climber in the male semi-final here. Come on, Reese. You see him there, but a quick tap on the back of his neck, and I think let's get some blood flow to his fingers. Although this centre is absolutely brilliant, it isn't particularly warm, and if it's been a while since you last climbed, like, it can be quite easy to numb out. I've been climbing here before and definitely numbed out a bit, so that must be a big challenge for the climbers to, like, they don't want to climb super close to when they're climbing, but to keep that blood flow going.
Yeah, that's one of the challenges about coming out later, or about the lead competitions. With boulder, you know exactly when you're going to start, but with the lead, it's just down to Reese just displaying how.
It's just like, I don't need that toe hook rest. I'm going to campus.
He's a very strong climber, and sometimes you just have to climb things in your style, and maybe it would have taken more energy and been more uncomfortable and stressful for Reese to have tried to place all of the toe hooks and heel hooks than it was for him to just simply campus. So
and then he's warming up his hands again.
Yeah, I was saying it's really hard to you have to make an estimate as to when you think you're going to be out. So everyone's got these pieces of paper, and you do a bit of calculations when you think you're going to be climbing, when you need to start warming up.
I didn't know this.
Yeah,
so you're doing a little bit of maths.
You go roughly 4 minutes a climber with changeover time and whatnot, but that's when experience really comes into play in league competitions. There's a lot more variables that can affect you before you even get on to having a go at the route,
Yet another nugget of wisdom here from MTS.
Oh, Reese,
it's like your school of and
a good effort catching that hold. That will definitely put him above quite a few people who dropped that move.
Yeah.
So it was a really key move to stick.
The way that the scoring works, you get rewarded for moving towards a hold, but you also then get rewarded the full point for holding it, so that will stand him in good stead. But obviously he doesn't know that until he gets to the floor and talks to some people.
No.
And we have Connie here, Connie Bridgens is the sister of Izzy, who we saw climbing earlier. She was in the finals for the boulder.
She had an amazing qualification round, topping both of the qualifying routes, and one of our first place finishers from yesterday. Which I think, Connie is an excellent lead climber, but I think that'll be a surprise to her. I think she'll be really happy to be up with the likes of Erin and Zoe, who are previous British lead climbing champions.
Yeah, and she's a bit younger than those two as well, so she hasn't maybe quite got the experience.
I think this might be her first senior British lead climbing championships.
Go on, Connie! And she trains a lot in Sheffield. It's been great to watch her kind of like just get better and better, really, and actually just, you know, make the most of her style. She's a powerful climber, she's a strong climber, and she really kind of like leans into that when she's on the wall.
Yeah,
look at that, she's just demonstrating exactly what I was on about.
You can see here that she probably read the route with Fay, their training partners, and they both did that kind of more difficult clip off of that sketchy left heel hook. So yeah, you can often see when people read the route together, because they try the same thing, and sometimes it works really well and sometimes it doesn't work so well. But Connie's clearly very fit and strong, and also...
Oh, and she's actually holding on to a really bad foothold here.
But looking
she's
so
making it work.
strong.
That is insane. And she was also resting on that hold earlier that was powering so many climbers out. So she's really demonstrating her caliber of strength here. And I really hope that she can make it through to that rest, because she really deserves to kind of like be able to like climb high, I think, on this route.
And I think Connie will give us a good show. Oh, she just loses that heel.
Interesting. Falling off at the same point as Fay.
Yeah.
She looks chilled.
You know,
maybe
very
too
similar,
chilled.
like, you know, you train together.
You fall off together.
You fall off together.
Hopefully that is enough for both of those climbers to make it through to the final. Meanwhile, who's this guy? I've not seen him before. Where's he come from?
Yeah, on our senior men's semi-final route, our final climber of the semi-final, we have Toby Roberts.
The only male to top both qualifying routes. And
if you didn't know already, he's the Olympic champion.
Oh, it's our golden boy. That's the one. Toby Roberts. Yeah, he'll be feeling at home on this lead route, I'm sure, and hopefully he's going to show us what moves the setters have set at the top. I want to see it. I want to see what they've got in store. And if there's anyone that can, it's this guy.
Yeah, Toby had maybe a slightly disappointing British Bouldering Championships for him.
Yeah.
Missed out on a
And I
podium
think,
position, but you know,
he's been like lead climbing in Spain.
Yeah,
like
this is where I think we'll really see how good Toby is. Like he was a lead specialist before he became excellent at bouldering, but he's one of like maybe the only Brit to win a boulder and lead World Cup.
Yeah.
Of our current generation, that's for sure.
He's iconic, that is. Yeah. And he also can just enter like a different fight mode to other climbers.
Yeah, he's got a very distinguishable like style.
Yeah, and face. His fighting face. I want to see some of that today. That's what I'm excited about.
He leaves it all out on the wall.
And he's currently not climbing it in the most efficient way either, I would say.
But I'd say that's kind of Toby's style.
That is Toby's style.
He just makes it happen, and he makes it work.
Yeah, and maybe actually that is good for when you get to a point where, like, you know, if he doesn't climb in a comfortable style from the start, then it doesn't matter when the route gets really hard and uncomfortable, because you're used to that.
Yeah, I'd say Toby is at home when he's uncomfortable. So
there you go, top tip there. Just be uncomfortable when you're climbing. You might become Toby Roberts, who knows?
His training looks absolutely brutal, and he spends a lot of time outside of his comfort zone.
Yeah.
He just keeps going and keeps going and keeps going, and I think, you know, he can really use that as a superpower when the route gets difficult, when he's not, you know, maybe when he's struggling early on, he's just so used to grafting it out and just keeping on going that it always plays out in his favour.
Yeah, the hard work is truly inspiring. And there he goes. He reaches that hold.
Just
in a
absolutely
static
crushing
motion.
down on
Yeah,
those
exactly.
holds.
Meanwhile, over on the women's route, we have got Zoe Petermans. She
previous British League
she
climbing
is
champion and boulder
champion, and she will be wanting to give it a good fight. She's in really good shape at the moment. I was really impressed with her performance during the Boulder Championships just a couple of weeks ago, and I'm really excited and hope that we can see her fighting high up on this route today. I know that kind of like, although she's obviously a really strong boulderer now, she used to be predominantly a lead climber. And here we have a new high point on the men's route by Toby Roberts. Still looking pretty casual here. And hopefully he'll demonstrate just how casual, you know, the rest of these moves are, even though they certainly aren't. He'll make them look cash. Come on, Toby. Zoe also resting on this hold that many other climbers have struggled with, just showing, you know, that caliber of strength. And, oh, she's going backwards. Oh no, she's read it the same.
Also a member of the precision climbing team, and maybe having read the route with Fay and Connie.
That, and that is a bad foothold. You know, their people's heels have slipped off that. Meanwhile, Toby's on the last move and he gets it. Go on.
Will it be a competition of only tops for Toby?
It could be. I feel like we looked away for a moment and suddenly he was at the top. Congratulations,
he just went
Toby.
into absolute cruise
He's looking
mode.
down as if kind of like, yeah, that was nothing.
He looks like he's just warming up.
Yeah.
Zoe
Very
has
epic.
made it through this difficult section, and I'm really glad she managed to stay calm and just
not
make
panic
it
when
work.
she realised that, and a bit of a rest coming up, so hopefully she can get that back.
She's
I know
brought
it
her
will have
feet
drained
up.
her a little bit.
Yeah, she's brought her feet up really high and she's made her way into that rest. Good climbing from Zoe here. She's like a really technically gifted and able climber. She loves a heel hook, and I know that she's going to be absolutely milking all of these heels and rests.
Fun fact, I actually used to compete against Zoe when I was a wee child in the YCS rounds. She's trained and grew up in South Wales, and I grew up in North Wales, so I've actually known Zoe for a really, really long time. But it's just been amazing to just see her kind of like go from like strength to strength and just keep grinding it out, keep training, keep making those gains, and if you really put in the time and effort, it will pay off, as she is showing us now. She's our second to last athlete out for the senior women. She's on that heel hook, resting, and she's up into the head wall, making the most of those heels. Come on, Zoe. Looking like she's having to fight a bit more. Come on. Come on, Zoe. Come on. Oh, she stuck that hold, which quite a few people have actually kind of like come off going towards.
I think she's in a little bit of trouble without that clip. Let's see if she can.
She hasn't quite. Oh,
Yeah, knew she just
great
couldn't really
effort from Zoe
go
there.
any further there, but that was, an incredible effort. And we'll definitely be seeing her later on in the final today.
Yeah.
So job done for Zoe. That was all this round was, making it through to the next.
And she looks almost like a little bit disappointed there, but maybe, you know.
I think she'd have wanted to give her absolute best.
Yeah.
She's a fiery competitor. She wants to leave it all out there.
She's got passion, that's
she
for
has
sure.
got passion. She's got buckets and buckets of passion. And she trains so hard. And I know she'll have just wanted to show that training and all the hard work she's put in every round. And that's,
That's why we do it.
that's why we do it.
Well, we.
That's why they do it.
The collective we. No, I'm very excited to see how she gets on in the finals. And we've got one climber remaining in our semi-finals of the BLCCs 2024. Nope, not in that year anymore, 2025, who needs very little introduction. We've got Erin McNeese.
Yeah, Olympic finalist,
Co-
current British bouldering
second
champion.
Olympic finalist, not finalist, sorry, Olympian of 2024, alongside you.
Yeah, she won the British League Climbing Championships a couple of years ago, so she'll be back to try and take that title again.
Yeah, there's been a nice little date change for our British Championships this year, which means that instead of having them in the summer, we can have them this time of year. So all of our athletes that might normally miss it because they are competing internationally are here, which is brilliant because, you really get to see the best in the country fight for the title. And it just, it creates so much more of a buzz when you get to see just how good those climbers are and to see the best climbers competing like against each other. And hopefully Erin will demonstrate what is in store up on that head wall.
So we are now joined on the mat by Toby Roberts. Toby,
Erin is our bouldering champion. Let's see if she'll be the double champion. She is very, very good at both as well. So
That's like your go-to, your happy place, right?
Yeah, definitely landing on there trying to. It's been a while since I've had to climb on a head wall, so it feels really good to get back into it.
Brilliant. And
Our MC George is just having a little chat with Toby, and Toby's just saying how much fun he had basically getting back on a rope and having a little fight on a head wall. He said it's been a long time. It has been a while since the end of the last international season, So these athletes are probably feeling a little bit rusty, but they're enjoying being back out on stage.
Well, it's good to know as well that Toby said he had to fight a little, even if it was just a little bit.
We'll take that.
Erin making her way up through this little volume section. She's also like, I don't need that extra little hold in the middle. I'm too strong. You've obviously climbed with Erin quite a bit. How do you think the style of this route will suit her?
I think Erin will really enjoy this style of route. She's actually quite a slow climber, even though she, I guess, started out as a boulder athlete. She's got tons and tons of fitness, and she does kind of like eke her way up the route. So I think she'll enjoy this like kind of techie slow section. She's struggling a little bit to figure out what to do with her feet, but yeah, she's more than strong enough to just absolutely launch between these holds.
Yeah, like when you've got a lot more left in the tank, you can afford to maybe be.
Yeah, and I think you kind of just save that for the last option. You try and climb it in the way that it was intended to be climbed, I think.
And then you're like, oh, I'm just strong enough just to
yeah
hoon myself at this hold, and I know it will kind of work.
Yeah, but I think Erin will really enjoy this like slightly physical but also quite technical style of route, and I'm sure she'll be really good on the head wall where it gets a bit more 3D and technical with this like long reach up off the toe hook.
See, she's wearing a Depot t-shirt there. She's a Depot athlete, so I'm sure she's been on this wall plenty in the last few weeks.
Really nice, come on.
Come on, Erin. Oh, nice. Smart move there, opting for that high heel to avoid kind of like slipping on that low one, but it still looked pretty strenuous.
Yeah, Erin's looking like she's having to try a little bit harder than maybe we expected her to, but she might just be... It's been a while since she saw this route, don't forget. It's been well over 2 hours since Erin had her observation period, so she's probably just, you know, remembering things. But, I mean, she looks like she's pretty chilled now. I think these next two holds will be more than enough for her to recover pretty much back to normal, I think.
Yeah, the way that she just looked down there just totally goes to show just how kind of like you say, casual she feels right now. And I guess that's the experience of having competed on the international circuit for a little while now. It's just that you kind of know how to maybe like reset and not carry the stress with you if you've found a couple of moves a bit hard.
Yeah, and I'm sure Erin has high expectations of herself for this competition, but you know, she's the one to beat, and it is, you do get nervous, like you just gotta, anyone can make a mistake, and
we're only human,
and so I think maybe Erin was just a little bit tense through that bottom section, just wanting to get up to the head wall in kind of like the safe zone now. So hopefully Erin will be a bit more chill and we'll be able to see her just go for it all the way to the top.
There we go, and she's
looking
just demonstrating that chillness now on those crimps.
Let's see if she can get this clip in. It looks like an awkward clipping position.
Here we go. She's, the first to get that clip in such a casual manner. And she hasn't, no, she's seen that foot hold. There it is. Get that heel hook. Is it going to... Come on, Erin, show us what... There it is, our new high point.
Ooh. Quite a long way, quite stretched out.
She's looking pretty spanned here.
I guess maybe the heel hook allowed her to get closer into the wall for this move, but now she's a little bit stuck, maybe.
That looks like a tricky clip. You've got a really...
But it's in now, and hopefully she can focus on just getting to that top.
Yes, Erin, come on. Come on. Beautiful. You can see those tick marks there. They're just indicating where the holds are, which shows that actually from her position, it's probably quite blind.
Yeah.
Come on, Erin. Amazing. Just like kind of show here of just like how amazing of a climber she is, really. Come on, Erin. A really cool move to see on a lead route. She's one hand on that top hold. She's got to clip the clip, though, to get the top. Oh, that looks so hard. And she's fully turning around.
Positions for Erin here.
Oh, no, back round she goes.
Shaking her head. She's like, that's not the way. That looks much more reasonable.
I almost saw her, like, have a little laugh there. Yeah. And that is a top. What an incredible show. Double top there from our last climbers, Erin McNeice and Toby Roberts. They should both be really happy with themselves. And I can't wait to see how they perform in finals.
I know, and that is it for our semi-final round. It was amazing.
Yeah, the Roots just did a really lovely kind of like display of the climbers just getting higher and higher each go, athlete by athlete.
Yeah, it was pretty perfect. Rounding out our competition with two tops from Toby Roberts and Erin McNeese. They are our top qualifiers for sure, and will be coming out last in this evening's final. So now everyone has to leave the venue. The setters will have to strip the wall and put up our final routes. The athletes will be back on the wall later with our under-17 final starting at 5:15 and our senior final starting at 6:30. So we really hope you'll join us for an amazing final later.
Where else would you be than sat at home on the sofa watching the BLCC's final of 2025? Be there.
Yeah, so
We'll
hopefully
be here. We'll be here to chat you through it, tell you how small the holds are, tell you how hard the moves are.
Yeah, we'll be here later. Hopefully we'll get to see some results on the screen soon so you know who you'll be able to watch later in tonight's final. But thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Molly.
Thank you, Zoe.
We'll see you later.
Yep.